Good morning, ma'am.
Morning.
Tell me your,
Morning. Elisa González.
tell me your last name.
González.
Sorry, I just didn't hear you right. All right, Ms. Gonzalez, you are here on a couple of matters out of Justice Court. This is the time for your initial appearance. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release on these two cases today. If I release you, Ms. Gonzalez, and give you a court date in Justice Court to get these matters taken care of, will you promise to show up at Justice Court?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so the first charge that we're here to talk about is a drug paraphernalia charge. I am going to release you on your promise to appear on that case. You do have to appear in Pima County Justice Court on September 8th at 8:30. You're going to get paperwork today when you get released that's going to have that court date and time on it. You need to make sure that you do appear, or they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Your second matter is already a warrant out of Justice Court for a shoplifting case. I'm going to release you on that one as well. You are not allowed to return to the incident location where that shoplifting occurred. The victims are there and you can't go back there. Do you understand
Okay.
that?
Yes.
Okay. So there was a $500 bond amount on your warrant, but I'm going to release you today. You're going to have that same court date, September 8th at 8:30 in the morning at Justice Court. Again, if you don't show up, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you don't show up for court?
Yes, I do.
All right, you're all done for today, Ms. Gonzalez.
Thank you.
Oh, hang on, Ms. Gonzalez, hang on. I missed that file. Thank you. You have a city case as well we need to talk about. I'm going to release you on that one as well. It is also looks like you had diversion. And you didn't complete some things for Tucson City Court. So I'm going to release you on that as well, but you're going to have to show up in Tucson City Court. That was for a paraphernalia charge on September 25th at 9 to get that matter resolved, okay? So
Okay.
again, when you get released, you're going to get paperwork for all of this, and you're going to have two separate pieces of paper, maybe even three, one for your justice court and one for your city court. And again, you have to show up at both of those dates or they're going to issue more warrants. You'll find yourself back in custody, okay?
Yes, I don't want that. Yes, thank
All right,
you.
you're all done.
All right.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Ignacio.
Mr. Ignacio, you were here today on a warrant out of Pima County Justice Court and also several warrants out of Tucson City Court. This is the time for your initial appearance. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release today. I'm showing a general delivery address for you currently. Is that your current, do you have a place where you're residing, sir?
At the moment, yeah, my uncle's house.
Okay, all right. So you do have someplace you can go. So what I'm gonna do, sir, is on your justice court case, I am going to release you. A condition of your release is that you not go near the incident location and that you not have any contact with the victim. Wherever that shoplifting occurred, you are not allowed to return there because that's where the victims are. Okay, your next court date on that matter is going to be September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. You do have to appear at that date and time. If you do not go to court, they are going to issue another warrant for your arrest. It's not going to go away. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have a lot of warrants out of Tucson City Court involving drug paraphernalia, criminal damage, criminal trespass, theft or shoplifting, drug paraphernalia, and failing to abide by law enforcement directives. Looks like all of these are civils that are in default where you haven't taken care of all of this stuff. If I give you an opportunity today and release you and give you a court date, will you promise to show up in court to get these things taken care of?
Yes.
You don't have a choice. If you do not go, you're just going to get another warrant, and then next time you're not likely to be released. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to release you on your city court matters. Your next court date there is going to be September 24th at 9:30 in the morning. You do need to appear at that date and time. If you do not appear, they'll issue warrants for you. Do you understand the consequences if you don't show up to court? Do you understand that there's going to be a warrant issued for you as a consequence if you don't show up to court?
Yes.
You're all done for today.
Am I be released?
I am releasing you, yes. And when you get released, make sure you take your paperwork. You're going to have two different pieces of paper, one from Justice Court and one from City Court, telling you that you need to show up to court, okay? Hi, tell me your name.
Alicia Moreno.
Ms. Moreno, you have some matters out of Justice Court today that we need to talk about. One of them is a warrant for a DUI from 2022. And then you do have a new charge, driving on a suspended license. This is the time for your initial appearance on those. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Looks like on the DUI charge, you failed to follow through with some of the consequences. So that's something that you'll have to deal with in Justice Court. If I release you today, will you promise to appear for court dates that I give you in the future?
Yes.
All right. So on your DUI charge where you have some issues that you need to address post-conviction, I am going to release you. You're not to drive without a valid license, and you're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol, obviously no illegal drugs. Your next court date in that case is going to be October 16th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. On your new charge of driving on a suspended license, it's going to be those same conditions of release that I just spoke with you about, but your next court date's a little bit sooner. That one's going to be September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. And you do have to appear at that date and time for both those court dates, or they can issue warrants for your arrest. Do you understand the conditions of release that I've imposed here today?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand the consequences if you don't show up for court?
Yeah, I did.
All right, you're all done for today.
Thank you.
Perez.
Hi, sir, tell me your name.
Jorge Perez.
Mr. Perez, you are here today on a charge of disorderly conduct. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. So it looks like there is an order of protection against the victim in this disorderly conduct case. And you're not allowed to have any contact with that person, Jamie Noon. Do you understand that, sir?
So I do. I did do that. That's correct. I didn't talk to her at all.
If I release you today, will you promise to show up at court when I give you a court date at Justice Court on this case?
Yes, I will. Yes, yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, that'll be right.
You have to, as a condition of your release, you're not allowed to have any contact with the victim in this case, and do not go back to that incident location. Again, there's that order of protection. If you violate it, you're going to keep finding yourself back in custody, and then you may not get out. Do you understand?
I understand that. You're right.
Do you understand the conditions of release that I've imposed today?
It's
Your next court date is going to be September 8th at 8:30 in the morning at Pima County Justice.
September 8th.
September 8th. When you get released today, you're going to get a copy of your paperwork. It's going to tell you
Okay.
that court date and time. If you don't show up to court, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand those consequences if you don't show up?
Yeah.
Right, you're all done.
So just courthouse September 8th.
Courthouse September 8th, and follow that order of protection. No contact with
All right. All right. Thank you. All right. God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, Hi, ma'am. Tell me your true name. What is your true legal name?
Clarissa Avisay Revilla.
Okay. So it looks like on the ticket that you were given, it was Caranco? What is that?
That's my marriage last name.
Okay. But your true legal name is actually Revita?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you were here today, ma'am, on a charge of disorderly conduct. This is the time for your initial appearance where we talk about conditions of release. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. If I release you on this case today, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes.
As a condition of release, you are not going to be allowed to commit any acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. It looks like your husband, who's the victim in this case, was contacted. He doesn't have any problem with you returning home or having contact with you, so you'll be able to continue to have contact with him. Your next court date is going to be September 8th at 10:30 in the morning. You do have to appear for that court date. If you don't appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. You're all done for today, ma'am. When you get released, you'll get paperwork. It'll have that court date and time that I gave you today so that you remember when you need to appear for court. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Sloan?
Hi, tell me your name.
Dwayne Edward Sloan.
Mr. Sloan, you were here today on charges of interfering with the judicial proceeding and threats and intimidation. These are misdemeanor charges. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Today is the time when we're setting your conditions of release. If I release you today, Mr. Sloan, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future in justice court?
Yes.
The other conditions of release you have to follow are not having any contact with the victim in this case in
Yes.
any way, shape, or form. You're not allowed to drive by them, look at them, talk with them, send them text messages, nothing.
His house is right in the corner. You go by his house to go down the road.
You need to not make comments, gestures, or anything else. So if you drive by that house, stay away from him. Don't have any contact with him. That is a condition of your release. Do you understand all of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So don't return to the incident location. Absolutely no contact with the victim. And I will release you on your promise to appear today. Your next court date is going to be September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. That's going to be at Pima County Justice Court. You are required to appear at that date and time. If you do not appear, they can issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You're all done for today. When you get released, they'll give you copies of your paperwork. It'll have that court date I gave you on it, okay?
Okay. Restrepo?
Your Honor, this is a Spanish.
Good morning.
Hello.
I don't believe we have any Spanish speakers today. Is that right?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Interpreter is disconnecting.
Good morning, Ms. Trejo.
I'm back thinking better.
You're what?
I said, how are you doing?
I'm sad to see you where you're sitting today.
I can understand why.
So, Ms. Trejo, this is the time for your initial appearance on a charge. It is a misdemeanor. It's a stolen license plate charge. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Okay.
You also have a hold out of Superior Court. So regardless of what I do on this matter, You're going to be held on that until I can see you over there, okay?
Yeah, I understand.
Right. So what I'm going to do, Ms. Trejo, is release you on this case today. So this is not going to be holding you. Your next court date on this misdemeanor charge is going to be September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. If you're still in custody because of the felony stuff going on, then the jail will make sure that you appear via video, or they'll figure out how to get you to justice court for that hearing on September 8th, okay?
Okay.
And like I said, you are going to be held because of the hold. You guys have a probation hold jail, correct?
It's,
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And
yeah,
I don't know, Ms. Trejo, if I'll be seeing you tomorrow afternoon on that warrant or sometime next week, but I would anticipate that I will see you soon, okay? Have you
all
had,
right.
have you had any contact with, is it Miss Smith yet? Karen Smith?
No, I haven't, but
Okay.
can I have contact with my other attorney, Patrick Hogan? That's what I was trying to do before.
Okay. He should be representing you for your initial appearance on your probation warrant. So
Okay.
that'll be something that'll happen first, okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you.
You're all done for today, Ms. Trejo.
Preparado. Trejo. Cuidado. Ah, oh.
Hi, tell me your name.
Anastacio Alvarado.
Mr. Alvarado, you are here on some Tucson City Court matters. It looks like you did not follow through with some requirements that the judge imposed on your drug paraphernalia and theft charges. So they issued a warrant for you on that. And then you have another warrant for a drug paraphernalia charge. This is the time for your initial appearance on all of that. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say kind of will be used against you. If I release you, Mr. Alvarado, will you promise to go to city court and get these matters taken care of? All right, I'm going to release you on your promise to appear. Your next court date is going to be in front of Judge Mayhew on September 23rd at 9:30 in the morning. You do have to appear at that date and time. If you fail to appear, they're going to issue a warrant for your arrest. You'll find yourself back in custody. When you get released today, you will have the opportunity to get paperwork from the jail that's going to have that court date and time on it. Please make sure you get that so that you know when you're supposed to appear, okay? You're all done for today.
Mr. Brown.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Mr. Brown. William.
Mr. Brown, you are here today on charges out of Tucson City Court. They're warrants that have been issued for your arrest. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. The charges do involve criminal trespass and drug paraphernalia. Mr. Brown, I'm showing a general delivery address currently. Are those your circumstances?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the Transition Center, Mr. Brown?
Uh,
That is a place over by the jail. It's a white trailer with a big blue sign, and they can assist people with housing, getting to court, substance abuse issues, other things that people may be struggling with, mental health issues. They can provide services for you and help get you connected to those services. Is that something that you think you'd be interested in?
Um, I think so. Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So if I release you, Mr. Brown, and I give you a court date in a couple of weeks, can you get to Tucson City Court so that you can get these things taken care of?
I think I probably good. Yeah.
So when you get, I'm going to release you on these charges today. Do not go back to the place where you were trespassed from, that criminal trespass case. The victims are there and you're not allowed to return back there. Do you understand those conditions?
Understand?
Okay. When you get released today, as soon as you walk out of the jail door, they should give you paperwork that's going to have your court date on it. Please make sure you hold on to that. Follow the blue line when you get outside the door. Look down on the ground, there's going to be a blue line. If you follow that, Mr. Brown, it's going to take you right to the transition center. It'll be a big white trailer that's right next to the jail property, and there's a big blue sign. And those will be the people that can help get you connected to services and also help you get to court to make sure that you get there on the 19th so you can get this taken care of, okay?
Okay.
Your next court date is going to be the 19th of September at 1:30, and that is at Tucson City Court. All right, Mr. Brown, you're all done for today.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Christensen?
Hi, sir, tell me your name.
Andrew Sherman Christensen, ma'am.
Mr. Christensen, you are here today on charges of criminal damage, interfering with a judicial proceeding, 3 counts of that. These are domestic violence offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I've had the opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services on this case. That report tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. Are you on probation for something else, sir?
Yeah, previous DUI.
Right. And is that out of city court?
Nothing was wrong.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. If I release you on this case today, you are not going to be allowed to have any contact with your sister, Amy.
Oh, I don't want any contact.
Okay. So you need to stay away from her. Don't return back to the incident location. All right. So I'll release you on your promise to appear, commit no acts of domestic violence, and as we've talked about, no contact with your sister. You do need to contact your probation officer when you get released today so they know what's going on. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date in Tucson City Court is going to be September 29th at 9:30 in the morning. That is going to be your next hearing date. This is also the time for your arraignment on these charges. You are presumed innocent. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. If you fail to appear for your court hearing on September 29th, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence and set future hearings in your absence, including a trial. If you get convicted at trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could lose your right to a direct appeal on this matter. Do you understand all of those consequences if you don't show up for court?
Yes, ma'am.
You are all done for today.
Mr. Harris?
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
My name is Colin Harris.
Mr. Harris, you are here today on an assault charge. It is a domestic violence offense. This is the time for your initial appearance where we talk about setting conditions of release. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. If I release you today, Mr. Harris, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
I promise that, Your Honor.
All right. Your condition of release is that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. Will you follow that as well?
I will, Your Honor.
Your next court date is going to be September 29th at 9:30 in the morning. That's going to be at Tucson City Court in front of Judge Maldonado. When you get released today, you will get copies of your paperwork that'll have that date and time on it. This is the time for your arraignment as well, Mr. Harris. You are presumed innocent. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea on your behalf. If you don't show up for that court date on September 29th, Tucson City Court could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence and set future hearings in your absence, including a trial. If you can't be sentenced within 90 days of that trial, you could lose your right to an appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences if you don't show up for court?
Understand all those consequences, Your Honor.
You're all done for today.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You too.
Wilson? What? What?
Hi, ma'am. Tell me your name.
Joyce Marie Frozen.
Ms. Prosen, you are here today for an initial appearance on misdemeanor charges involving assault, criminal damage, and disorderly conduct. These are domestic violence offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. Tells me a little bit about the circumstances of this offense, as well as some information about you. If I release you today, ma'am, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
I do.
You're going to be released today, but we do need to talk about some additional conditions. Pretrial Services has not been able to contact your husband, who's listed as the victim in this case. What that means is that you're not going to be allowed to have contact with him until another court changes that in the future. So as of today, with the nature of the offenses, you're not going to be allowed to have any contact with him. That means not returning home, not returning to the incident location, and not talking with him.
Okay, so I do need to have some guidance on this because that is my house. I have a son that lives there. And furthermore, I am an emergency medicine provider here in Southern Arizona, and my work laptop is at home.
Okay.
All of my work things. What do I do?
I'm about
This is my, okay.
I'm about to tell you how to do that, okay? So
Thank you.
I am going to check a box on your form. This in no way prohibits you from having contact with your son, okay? It's only with your husband at this, and again, that's at this time. Some point down the road, I would expect the judge to change that, but right now, that has to be an order that you follow. So on your conditions of release, which you're going to get a copy of when you get released today, there's a box that I've checked that says you may return one time with law enforcement to retrieve your personal belongings. If you wanted to have, and again, it's up to you, if you wanted to have your son get your belongings and bring them to you, that would be one way of handling it. But if you want to go home to collect your things, you just need to either call 911 from a location near your home somewhere, just not at your home, or take the conditions of release order to a nearby substation and let them know that you need to go collect your belongings. This is something that they deal with. They will be familiar with how to do that so you can get whatever it is that you need, but you are going to have to establish an alternative address for the time being. Do you have family or friends you can stay with?
Nope, not really. So, no, I don't.
Okay, can you find a place to stay?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Did that answer the questions you had about getting your belongings today?
And how long do I have to be out of my house that I pay for is my question.
So that will be something that Tucson City Court will need to resolve. Your husband can always contact Tucson City Court if he wants to change that in some way, but you can't be the person to communicate with him on that. So you need to follow the orders today. If he has information he wants to share, he can contact Tucson City Court to be able to get things modified. Since your next court date is not until September 30th at 1:30, that'll be the next time that you'll appear at Tucson City Court. So until and unless they do something sooner than that, you're going to have to abide by this order until then. So it's about a month. Do you understand all of those conditions today?
I do. It's just super frustrating because, again, I pay the bills, so I have to continue to pay for a house that I can't go to. I understand. It's fine.
So this is also the time for your arraignment on these charges. You're presumed innocent, so we're going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. You do have to appear for that hearing on September 30th at 1:30 in front of Judge Millian at Tucson City Court. If you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence and set future hearings, including a trial. If you get convicted at trial and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand all the consequences if you don't show up for court?
I do.
All right, you're all done for today, ma'am.
Thank you.
Pacheco.
Hi, tell me your name.
Jairo Pacheco.
All right, Mr. Pacheco, you are here today for your initial appearance on charges relating to driving on a suspended license, reckless driving, and having an open container of alcohol in your vehicle. These are all misdemeanor offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Looks like the driving on a suspended license and the charges we're talking about were ones where you failed to appear at justice court. So they did issue a warrant for your arrest on these charges. The amount on the warrant is $500. You do have family here in the courtroom today. I know you can't see them, but they can see you. If I release you today, will you promise to go to justice court like you're supposed to?
Yes, ma'am. I really like. I had two cases the last time that I was here, and it was one from Santa Cruz and one from Tucson. And the Santa Cruz one was a felony. So when I guess I got released from pretrial for the one for Tucson. So I just really didn't. It slipped my mind that I had court, but I have no problem going to court, man.
Okay, hang on. It looks like we have someone from pretrial here. Is that who you're with, sir? Oh, your stepdad. Okay, all right. You can go
Okay.
ahead and have a seat, sir. It's fine. Okay. All right, so it's your stepdad that's here, okay? So I'm going to release you on these charges today, but you have to go to court on the court date that I give you. If you don't, they're going to issue another warrant for you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, it's going to be important for you to keep track of these things. When you get released later today, you are going to have a copy of your release conditions that you can sign. So you're being released on this matter.
Thank you, ma'am.
Nope, there's nothing else that's holding you, so you should be able to be released. Your conditions of release: do not drive without a valid license.
Okay.
All right. Your next court date is going to be September 17th. And that's going to be at 10 o'clock here at Pima County Justice Court. When you get released today, you are going to get a copy of the paperwork that's going to have that court date and time. And you do need to appear at that date and time, or they can issue another warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a question? Marty? So, Pacheco Cadillo. So your stepdad just told us that you have court in Santa Cruz County on that date. So we're going to give you a different court date here so you don't have conflicts in your court dates.
Okay.
I hope you know how fortunate you are to have someone who is in the courtroom keeping track of these things for you.
Yeah, ma'am. He's a really good man. He's a good person.
All right, it's going to be a ways out. October 14th at 10:30 is going to be your court date in justice court. So again, when you get released today, you're going to get a copy of that paperwork. You're an adult. Keeping track of these things on your own will be important as well. It's great to have family support, but step up and take some ownership and take some responsibility in all this. Make sure you're where you need to be, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
You're all done. Thank you for being here.
Martinez.
Hey,
Hi, tell me your name.
Joseph John Martinez.
Mr. Martinez, you are here today on a criminal trespass charge. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. This charge is out of Sarita. And it looks like 2 charges of criminal trespass. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. If I release you today, Mr. Martinez, will you promise to show up in Sarita at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh.
And your additional conditions of release, if I release you, you are not going to be allowed to go anywhere near that South Nogales Highway address or have
Okay.
any contact with the victims there. Do you understand that?
Hmm? Yeah.
That's a condition of your release. You can't violate that, okay? Right, I'm going to release you on your promise to appear today with those conditions. Your next court date in Sarita Municipal Court is going to be September 16th at 8:30 in the morning. You do have to appear at that date and time. If you don't show up, they're going to issue a warrant for you. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right, you are all done for today.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Hi, sir, tell me your name.
Christopher Michael Kuhn.
Mr. Kuhn, I'm going to have the attorney sitting next to you show you the charge that you're here for today. This is the time for your initial appearance on this charge. It is a felony.
I went to court.
So, Mr.
Yeah.
Kuhn, I just wanted you to have an opportunity to know what the charge was without saying it out loud, okay? So I know that your attorney told you what the charge was, so that's why you're here is for that failure to comply with that. So this is the felony charge. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. We're going to appoint the legal defender's office to represent you, and you do have an attorney seated with you today for purposes of this hearing. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. Mr. Poston, it does look like the state is recommending a $2,500 cash or secure bond on this matter.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I did note on this one that he has a warrant and he's also on felony probation. Based on that, the state has spoken with probation, and it's my understanding that they're going to be filing a hold. But prior to that, Your Honor, the state is going to amend its request to $7,500.
So, jailer, are you showing any kind of holds? Because it looks to me like his probation was terminated back in 2022. So I don't show, I do note that in pretrial, they do indicate that he is on probation. I'm just confused as to what. So I want to see if the jail has any holds.
Your Honor,
I see another case, a 2025 case of the same nature that he was just placed on probation on August 4th.
Okay.
Which, yes.
state concurs, that is the case number. It's ending 1634.
Okay. And that just happened on August 4th.
Which also makes things more complicated because it actually does lend quite a bit of veracity to his information to police that he has been in the process of trying to remedy this issue, including talking to the court. He was clearly in court on August 4th being sentenced, Judge. I don't see any failures to appear for this previous case that started in March of this year. And so given that he's been under pretrial services release, having an attorney, being now on probation, being placed on probation with court hearings, it's just, I'm not in a position to dispute the charge at this point. It's just very odd that this is coming with an allegation of having the same exact charge stemming from March also of this year. Anyway, I'm just asking the court to take this into account.
All right. And Jail, are you showing any kind of probation hold currently?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. And Mr. Poston, you said you actually talked to the probation officer?
I talked to a probation officer and I was informed that one should expect the hold to be placed presently, but with the new current policy being that a PO has to physically show up and hand them a wet ink piece of paper, putting a hold on the person. This is why the state is modifying its recommendation to $7,500.
All right. I am going to impose a bond. It's going to be $2,000 cash or secured. If you post that bond, Mr. Kuhn, then you'd be released on this new case to pretrial services. If you get released, you do have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and no firearms. All things you already have to do while on probation anyway. If you do bond out, please contact your probation officer today or tomorrow, as soon as you get out, so they know what's going on. There'll also be conditions about how to contact the sheriff's department to take care of some things. Your next court date is going to be September 8th at 1:30. That is a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future court dates. And if you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the conditions of release we've talked about here today?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand the consequences if you don't show up for court?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're all done for today.
From being appointed. Get out to probation. Doesn't have personal. Keep calling.
I left the supervisor messages. I left higher up.
Keep track of what you're doing. Talk to your attorney.
I will make sure.
Your attorney's
Okay.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Adrian Hernandez.
Mr. Hernandez, you were here for a couple of different felony charges. There are two separate interim complaints currently. One is a charge of unlawful use of means of transportation. The other is an aggravated assault. This is the time for your initial appearance on those charges. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney on this case. We're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. Jail, are you showing any kind of parole hold?
We're looking out here.
Thank you.
Hernandez.
So, Mr. Hernandez, I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report for the court that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of your offense. I've also had an opportunity to review the state's recommendation as to your conditions of release. They are asking for a $40,000 bond and release to pretrial if you posted that bond. Mr. Poston, did you need to be heard further?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the interim complaints, this person allegedly beat somebody so hard they're looking at permanent fixators for their facial bones. So where that's the victim's looking at a very extensive surgery because of what the defendant allegedly did. And then we are also looking at essentially it's a carjack by any other name, Your Honor. This is what's being alleged. He has history of violating parole. He's a 4 and a 3, and he's a yes on the NVCA. Based on this, Your Honor, the state believes $40,000 for covering both cases is absolutely appropriate.
Jail, did you get a chance to check on that hold?
Yes, Your Honor, and we do not have a hold at this time.
Thank you so much for checking. Ms. Utsanova, your position?
Judge, I'm asking you to consider that his priors are mostly drug-related.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, I am going to impose a bond today. It is going to be a $30,000 cash or secured bond. If you do post that bond, then you'll be released to pretrial services. If you post the bond and get released, your conditions of release are that you participate in any monitoring or treatment pretrial services directs. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol, obviously no illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms. You are not allowed to have contact with the victims in this case or return to the incident locations. You must also contact your parole officer if you do get released. This is going to be a concurrent bond as to both of your cases. Do you understand those conditions of release today? I need you to answer out loud. Your next hearing is going to be a preliminary hearing. That's going to be on September 8th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That hearing may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future hearings. And if you show up for those hearings, a warrant could issue to your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear for court?
He said yes, Judge.
Need him to answer out loud.
Yes.
All right, you're all done for today.
Well, Daniel, here's my report. Present, I need 45 after.
Thank you.
Single sketches.
Thank you.
Jasmine.
Hi, just a minute. All right, ma'am, tell me your name,
Jasmine,
your full name.
Jasmine Montaño Granados.
All right, ma'am, you were here today for an initial appearance on a charge involving leaving the scene of an accident that resulted in death. This is the time for your initial appearance. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. I am going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report that tells me a little bit about you as well as the circumstances of the offense. I've also had a chance to review the state's recommendation in this case. They're asking for a $50,000 cash or secure bond. You do have family and or friends in the courtroom today as well, ma'am. I know you can't see them, but they can see you. Mr. Poston, did you have anything further you wanted to add?
Your Honor, the state's very concerned about this one, mostly the fact that fleeing the scene inherently screams flight risk. And plus, it would appear before the police were called by this defendant, she allegedly called her boyfriend in the jail. And that was, of course, recorded. And that appears to be how the police tracked this individual down. The state's very concerned, one, about flight, and two, a person that would flee after hitting somebody in the state's estimation is very much a risk to reoffend and a danger to the community.
Ms. Usanova.
Judge, I'm asking that you release Ms. Montano Granados to pretrial services She's 27. She has no felony history. She's a lifelong resident of Tucson. I disagree that she's a flight risk. It is a serious offense. However, I don't see any risk to reoffend here, given her lack of felony history. It's entirely natural that someone would be scared. Please, I'm asking the court to take into account that she did turn herself in, so she did the right thing, and she appears to have made a full confession. So she is cooperating. There's no reason to believe she will not continue to cooperate. This case is likely to take some time to resolve. And given her support in the community and her complete lack of criminal history, I believe that release is appropriate.
Ms. Montaño Granados, I am going to release you today to pretrial services. You are going to need to stay in contact with that agency as directed. You're going to have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You are not going to be allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. You are not allowed to have any contact with the victim's family members in this case. Don't return to the incident location. Do not go anywhere near where the victim's family may be living or working. Do you understand all of those conditions of release that I've imposed today?
Yes.
Your next court date is going to be September 17th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That is a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future court dates. And if you fail to appear, they'll issue a warrant for your arrest. You're going to be on release, and you're going to need to stay in contact with your attorney to make sure that you do not miss any court dates. Do you understand the consequences if you don't show up for court?
Yes.
You're all done for today.
Melanie, you want to stand up? Melanie, stand up. The line up to the part. It's like participants. Hold on. You sit here. Thanks. Absolutely. Right there. Yep. All the way around. All the way around.
Tell me your name.
Seamus Carrillo.
Mr. Carrillo, you are here today on charges of narcotic drug possession and drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent on these felony charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney on this case. I am going to appoint the legal defender's office to represent you. You do have an attorney seated with you today for purposes of these proceedings. It looks like you did not show up in Superior Court for your case management conference on another drug case that you have pending. So regardless of what I do here today on this case, you're going to be held until you can be seen on that one. Likely in my courtroom, if not Friday morning, sometime next week. The charges themselves have you eligible to potentially participate in SMART or in the STEPS program, sorry. Oh, no, it looks like, hang on. This is actually one for, they've already arranged you on it. Was this, Mr. Poston, can
It's
you?
$10,000 warrant, Your Honor.
Yeah, I can see that for the new one. Is this a case that originally was in STEPS? Do either of you know?
I don't have that information in front of me, Your Honor. Let me look. One moment. No, Your Honor, it does not appear to be.
Okay, all right.
He's got an extensive record, particularly with drugs and violent crimes, so I'm skeptical about his eligibility for STEPS. But I'll leave the decision to the court.
He's already been indicted, so that's not going to be something that we can do for this one. So, Mr. Carrillo, there is a $10,000 bond that was issued for this drug case because you failed to appear for your arraignment. So you're beyond the point in which you could participate in a pre-indictment diversion program. I am going to impose a bond in this case, not the $10,000 on the warrant today. For this new matter, I am going to impose a $5,000 cash or secured bond. Ms. Usanova, in light of the court's inclination, did you want to be heard?
Judge, only to the extent that the case was dismissed and refiled and the summons was returned. So it does not appear that Mr. Carrillo had any information really that the case was refiled. I do understand that he has a failure to appear on the other drug case. But for this one, I'm requesting the court consider a low bond.
So just with the history and the information I have, I am going to impose a $5,000 cash or secured bond on this new case. If you do post that bond, Mr. Correa, then you'd be released to pretrial services. Again, that's not going to happen until you get back in front of your judge on the felony case. I think it's mine, so I will be seeing you soon on that. Your next court date in this case is going to be an arraignment on September 4th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That hearing may or may not, actually it will occur because you're going to be brought probably to court, or they'll have you appear via video for that arraignment on that date and time. Do you understand the conditions of release that I've imposed today, Mr. Carrillo?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And if you do fail to show up for your hearing, if for some reason you post that bond and don't show up, they're going to issue more warrants for you. Do you understand that as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. You're all done for today.
Ms. Jimenez? Get out. Yep.
Hi, ma'am. Tell me your name.
Natalia Jimenez.
Ms. Jimenez, you were here today on a couple of different interim complaints on 2 different felony charges involving unlawful use of means of transportation and also aggravated assault. These are felonies. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. We're going to appoint the legal defender's office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. We're going to talk about your conditions of release. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services, tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of this offense. I've also had a chance to review the state's recommendation. They're asking for a $15,000 bond on this case with release to pretrial. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
Your Honor, on this individual, one moment. Again, this person appears to be on probation or release until December, and the state wasn't aware if there was a hold and would ask the jail that question at this point.
I
Not at this time.
Yeah, and I don't, it looks like there was a probation end in May of 2024.
Judge, I'm showing, forgive me, I'm showing, one moment. State submits on the written record.
All right, Ms. Usanova?
Judge, I do see one felony conviction from 2021. It's drug related. The interim complaint clearly shows that Ms. Jimenez was not the main instigator. In fact, it seems her participation in the aggravated assault here, despite the fact that the victim was quite injured. The information on her participation is quite scant. Because of this, and she's 36 years old, she's got over 2 decades living in Tucson. I'm asking that the court consider release to pretrial or a low bond.
I am going to impose a bond. It's going to be $7,500 cash or secured. Ms. Jimenez, if you do post that bond, then you're going to be released to pretrial services. If you post the bond and get released to pretrial, you do have to stay in contact with that agency as they direct. Participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. You are not allowed to have contact with the victims in this case, and you may not return to the incident locations. Do you understand those conditions of release? All right, and this is going to be a concurrent bond as to both of these case numbers.
Can't we review this meeting for John? We can't leave this meeting.
She's saying for a motion to release, motion to refile it again. Okay, it's just right now. She's not.
And so that concurrent bond obviously means those are going to be run together. So it's just one bond of $7,500 you would have to post for both cases. Your next hearing on this case is going to be September 8th. That's a preliminary hearing. That hearing may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you don't show up for court?
Yes.
And you've got all of the conditions in both matters that we talked about here today. Do you understand all of those as well?
Yes.
All right, you're all done for today, Ms. Jimenez.
Don't you need to revisit conditions.
Lynch,
Hi, tell me your name.
Warren Lynch.
Mr. Lynch, you were here today on felony charges of organized retail theft and drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. We're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. It does look like you have a bench warrant out of Pima County Superior Court for another matter. So regardless of what I do here today, you're not going to be released until you're seen on that other matter. I've had a chance to review some information prepared by pretrial service for me. I've also had a chance to review the state's recommendation. Mr. Poston, are you asking for the no bond as indicated on your paperwork?
One moment. Just a moment, Your Honor.
Oh, oh.
Checking. In lieu of no bond, 7,500, Your Honor.
Ms. Usanova?
Judge, I'm asking for a low bond. This is an organized retail theft case. He was on release for a drug possession case. Other than these two currently open cases, he only shows one prior from 2012. And it appears that he completed probation in that case. Given all that, I'm asking for a low bond.
I am going to impose the bond in this case of $5,000. That is going to be a cash or secured bond. If you post that bond, Mr. Lynch, and you get your other felony matter resolved, you'll be released to pretrial services. Looks like you're going to be back in my courtroom perhaps on Friday, tomorrow, or early next week. We did issue a warrant for your arrest back on July 8th for not showing up to a couple of court hearings that you have for your drug case. If you do get released on all of these and get released to pretrial services, Mr. Lynch, you have to stay in contact with them, participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while the cases are going on. Do you understand those conditions of release?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next hearing in this case is going to be September 8th. That's a preliminary hearing. That hearing may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future hearings. And if you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that as well?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're all done, Mr. Lynch.
back to
Hi, ma'am. Tell me your name. Miss McAfee, you are here for felony charges of unlawful possession of a dangerous drug and drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent on those charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney. We're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services, tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. Looks like you have another case that you're in steps for. Is that right?
I just started.
Have you shown up or stayed in contact with pretrial on that case?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I am inclined to release her on this one as well. She'll be steps eligible on this one as well, so we'll give her a court date, at least according to the information I have. Does either party want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
No, Judge.
Willing to waive time for that preliminary hearing date?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, ma'am, I am going to release you to pretrial services today. You're going to want to make sure that you stay in contact with that agency, participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. Your next hearing in this case is going to be your steps hearing next week, September 4th at 9 a.m. in Pima County Superior Court. Just like your current case, to find out whether or not you're going to be eligible to participate on this new case, you're going to need to make sure you go to that hearing. Your public defender will be there. Did you ever get connected with a treatment provider, Miss McCann?
No, not yet. I was due to do my intake this week.
Okay, well, you're going to get out today, so you can still do that intake this week. So I would follow through with that, and the court may be able to kind of, keep track of you with both of these if you get accepted in this one as well. But you're going to have to go to court next week, September 4th at 9, to find out whether or not you can participate in steps in this case as well, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And then your next hearing after that is going to be a preliminary hearing. We're going to give a little bit more time than normal for that to see if you're eligible to participate in steps. That hearing will be October 13th at 1:30 in the afternoon. You do have to appear for your court dates. If you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand those consequences if you fail to appear?
Sure.
All right. You're all done for today, ma'am. Make sure you make that court date, okay?
Okay.
To show and eventually treatment of treatment. Please be careful. So you can still help you. It's okay. Get yourself
Los Morelos.
Hi, tell me your name.
Melissa Marino.
Miss Marino, you are here today on felony charges of unlawful possession of a dangerous drug, unlawful possession of a narcotic drug, and possession of drug paraphernalia. These are felony offenses, so you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney on this matter. We're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. Looks like you do have another Pima County Superior Court case. You were supposed to appear in my courtroom yesterday for a case management conference, and you were not there. I think we just reset that court date, so I don't think that there's a warrant for you in that case yet. I've had the opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. They tell me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. We're also going to have some city court warrants that we need to address with you here today as well. It looks like you may be eligible to participate in a pre-indictment diversion program. It's called STEPS, that would allow you to complete substance abuse treatment. And if you successfully graduate from that program, the state would not go forward with these felony charges, these drug charges. Is that something that you want an opportunity to participate in, Ms. Moreno?
Yes.
All right. So we're going to set a hearing for you on September 4th at 9 a.m. And that's going to be the hearing to determine if you're eligible to steps. for steps. You do need to show up in Superior Court on that day. Check the monitor on the bottom floor before you get on the elevator to tell you what courtroom to report to. You're going to have an attorney at that court hearing for you, and then treatment providers for substance abuse will also be present in the courtroom so you can get connected to services if you qualify for that program. You have to show up for that. It looks like the state is asking for a $7,500 bond in lieu of the no bond. I am inclined to impose a bond in this case of $2,500. Hopefully get Miss Moreno connected with some services that way. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
No, Judge.
Ms. Usanova?
Judge, I'm asking for release to pretrial services. She shows no other prior felony history aside from the currently open case. That case looks like it's from January of 2024, and it is just now having been refiled. It's getting resolved, and she's scheduled for a plea and sentencing in September. Given the lack of criminal history. And then this case, I can't tell the number of pills involved, but there were multiple occupants in the vehicle that were found. But mainly given the lack of criminal history, I'm asking for release to pretrial services.
So Ms. Moreno, you also have warrants out of city court. And we're going to talk about those in a minute. I have concerns with you actually showing up to court when you're supposed to go. If I release you to pretrial services, are you going to make it to all your court dates?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to give you that opportunity. I'm going to release you to pretrial services today. You're going to have to stay in contact with that agency. That means that when you leave the jail today, there's a pretrial services window. You need to check in with them so they know how to get a hold of you. And more importantly, you are responsible for contacting them as directed. If you don't, they're going to send a report to the court telling us that you aren't doing that. You're on release to them in your other case as well. So staying in contact with them and also your attorney is really important. Okay. All right. You're going to have to participate in any monitoring or treatment pretrial services directs. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol, obviously no illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms or weapons while this case is going on. Your steps hearing to see if you're eligible for that program is September 4th at 9 a.m. You are going to need to appear in Superior Court on that date and time for that hearing. If you don't show up, they're automatically going to go forward with these felony charges and you'll lose the opportunity to participate in that program. If you successfully graduate from that program and complete all the substance abuse treatment you're required, the state would not go forward with these felony charges. Are we willing to waive time on the preliminary hearing, Ms. Usanova?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so what we're going to do is the next court date on this case, Ms. Moreno, is going to be a preliminary hearing. That hearing may or may not happen. We're going to extend some time for that to see if you're eligible to participate in this pre-indictment diversion program. So that date's going to be October 13th at 1:30. Again, stay in contact with your attorney. If you miss your court date, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. First, do you understand all of the conditions of release that I put in place today?
Yes.
And do you understand the consequences if you don't show up for court?
Yes.
All right, we're going to talk about your misdemeanor cases. There are warrants involving criminal trespass. I'm going to release you on those matters as well, and you're going to get yet another court date that you're going to have to keep track of, and that is September 25th at 9:30 in the morning at Tucson City Court. When you get released, you're going to get copies of paperwork. I think Ms. Usanova is also writing things down for you as well. Do not return to the incident locations where those criminal trespasses occurred. That's where victims are, and you're not allowed to return there. Do you understand the conditions in your city court case?
Yes.
And if you fail to appear for that court hearing on September 25th at 9:30, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that as well?
Yes.
All right, you're all done for today, Ms. Moreno.
Miss Court, this is the next one, okay? Really important to go. Okay, because otherwise we can't take advantage of the program that you already participated in. But that please come entirely in sometimes date for entirely children's, okay? And she said you missed court yesterday. No, I'm not. You were there? Yeah, sure. Were you? Yeah, okay. Okay, then you have so much. And you know when your next court hearing is, but don't miss the date, okay? So these two, and then this is the Tucson Cities. And this is a deadline to get done.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Riesgo?
Hi, tell me your name.
Susana Riesgo.
Ms. Riesco, you were here today for an initial appearance on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and dangerous instrument. This is a felony offense. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. We're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. Tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. Also had a chance to review the state's recommendation as to conditions of release. It looks like they're asking for a $5,000 bond on this case. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Usanova?
Judge, I'm asking the court take into account that Ms. Riesgo is a lifelong Tucson resident. She lives with family. She has support in the community. All of her priors are simple drug possession priors. And I'm requesting that the court consider release to pretrial services. It looks to me like this is an incident that was very much related to some sort of a personal relationship that would certainly not indicate any danger to the rest of the community. So if she were admonished to have absolutely no contact with the individuals involved, I don't see that she's any risk to endanger the community or to fail to appear to court.
So, Ms. Riesco, if I do release you to pretrial services, a condition of your release is that you not have any contact with the victim in this case. You are not allowed to go to that residence anywhere near where that person is living or working. You're not allowed to text them, call them, communicate with them through a third person. Certainly not drive by, make any threats, absolutely no contact. That person does not exist in your world if I release you today. Do you understand that?
Understood, yeah.
I'm going to release you to pretrial services with those conditions. Absolutely no contact and do not return to the incident location. You have to participate in any monitoring or treatment pretrial services may direct. You are not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol, obviously no illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. Do you understand all of the conditions that I've imposed today?
I understand.
Your next court date is going to be September 8th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That is going to be, September 17th in the afternoon. That is going to be your preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future court dates. And if you fail to appear, a warrant could be issued for your arrest. Because you're going to be out of custody, it's important you stay in contact with your attorney from the public defender's office so you know if that court date changes in any way. Do you understand that a warrant could be issued for you if you don't show up for court?
Yes.
Right, you're all done for today.
Thank you.
To keep the pretrial absolutely not to miss.
Emma?
Hi, tell me your name.
Adrian Velma.
Mr. Vilma, you are here today on charges of theft and possession of drug paraphernalia. These are felony charges. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. We're going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. Tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. Also had a chance to review the state's recommendation as to conditions. They're asking for a $2,500 bond. I am inclined to release to pretrial services. Mr. Poston, did you want to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Usanova?
No, Your Honor, given the court's inclination.
So, sir, I am going to release you today to the custody of pretrial services. You do have to stay in contact with that agency. You're going to have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they recommend. You're going to have to avoid consuming or possessing any alcohol, and you can't have any illegal drugs while this case is pending. Also, no firearms. Do you understand all of those conditions that I've imposed here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Your next court date is going to be, oh, and you're also not allowed to have any contact with the victim of the theft and don't return to that incident location. Your next court date is going to be September 17th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's going to be a preliminary hearing. That hearing may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future court dates. And if you don't, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you don't show up to court?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're all done, sir. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your help. Have a great day.
Thank you, Judge.
Good day, everybody. Good to see you, Iskra.
Daniel.
Are they mobile, or are they able to drive down to Fourth Avenue? Do you expect them to get along? And then it comes to pick people up, and then that person's people get arrested over and over and over just on the old. But it's their own fault, so they don't go back and make a court, they take care of it. And so, I mean, you're beating headed is small, not going to take care of it, it's usually small stuff. So, the people that will do weeks and weeks of jail time, the equivalent time, over something they could do a day or two, they just don't, but they, that's what they're. They wouldn't give you a court date. You went, did you go to that and say, hey, can I have a court date? And they said, no. There's some sort of miscommunication there then. Yeah. find a way to resolve it. Everybody's personal obligations become the way things, and, yeah, when taking care of this, take care of this shit first, and then. All right.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. You can be seated. Do we have any interpreter matters? All right, this is the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar. For August 28th, 2025, the court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples made on the 2 a.m. calendar on the first of the month will also apply to these hearings. All right, we're going to start with Mr. Corral. Is Johnny Corral in the courtroom? Yes. All right, if you come to the podium, please, Mr. Corral. After that, Luis Barragan, will you please go to the chair there just inside the door? You'll be next. Mr. Corral right here. Mr. Barragan, if you'll wait in the chair by the door. Right here, Mr. Corral?
Right here?
Yep, right there, sir. Podium, see the podium? No, right here, sir? Okay, yeah. All right, good morning, sir. May I please have your full name and your date of birth?
Johnny Corral, 11/25/1953.
All right, thank you. Mr. Corral, you have been arrested for one allegation of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. That is a Class 3 felony. There is probable cause for it. I'm not appointing a lawyer for you right now because you do not financially qualify. You have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense or to represent yourself. Your next court date will be a status conference on September 4th, which is next Thursday at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. Your preliminary hearing will be September 8th at 8:30. The court address will be on your paperwork. Based on what's been alleged against you, the state has requested a $50,000 secured appearance bond. This court believes that there is a strong weight of evidence alleged against you. However, you do not appear to have been arrested for over 70 years. And so considering that this is your first arrest, bail is set in your case at $25,000. It is secured. That means you can use a bail bondsman. If you post that bail, then you're going to go on an electronic ankle monitor under the supervision of pretrial services. That is to ensure that you don't violate the release conditions to stay away from the alleged victim, who is your wife, and to live somewhere else while the case is pending. You have to stay somewhere else. You can't live where she lives. You can do a civil standby with law enforcement to collect belongings like medicine, ID, keys, clothes. But then you have to go and stay somewhere else. It looks like perhaps you can...
Well, she doesn't live with me.
Let me see what the Form 4 says.
And they said I had a gun?
Correct. The police allege that you and your wife do live together. They do allege that. So, and on these facts, the facts appear to be consistent with her also living there. So you would have to go stay somewhere else if you do bond out. So,
well, I live at our house. She lives somewhere else.
Where?
She lives at an apartment or something. I don't know. I'm not really sure. We're kind of not together.
You don't know?
No.
Well, Well, the most I'll do, I'll change the language to say you can't live where she lives, but if pretrial services determines that she's living there, you are going to have to stay somewhere else.
Okay.
So if she would disagree that she doesn't live there, you're going to end up having to move somewhere else.
Oh, I'll move it. She doesn't live there.
I'm going to put a note in here as well that you stated that to the court.
Does it say there where I had a gun? Where did I have a gun?
Where? It alleges that it was inside the house.
Well, yeah, I have a gun in the house.
All right. And you should, hold on one second, Ann. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it'll say, you may not live where the alleged victim lives. If you have a common residence with her, you must find an alternative residence and provide proof to pretrial services within 24 hours after release. All right. And certainly, the court recommends that you hire a lawyer. I can't appoint one for you because you have too many assets, but you should hire a lawyer. You are accused of a very serious offense, and it's one that could carry a significant prison sentence if you were convicted. So the court would certainly urge anyone charged with this type of offense to hire a lawyer. But I'm not appointing you one today because you simply don't, you very much don't financially qualify. All right, so we're going to get everything onto your paperwork. You hire a lawyer and they'll help you understand all of that. You will get police reports either through your lawyer or directly from the state if you are representing yourself. All right, and your court date is next week. Don't miss your court dates. Don't violate your release conditions. Everything I just told you is on that paperwork. If you step out to your left, you can go sit back there and they'll take you out in a few minutes. Thank you. All right, Mr. Barragan.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Luis Arturo Barragán Cárdenas, February 25th, 1993.
Okay, thanks. And then Belém Chavira, you'll be next if you go to the chair, please. All right, Mr. Barragán, you're here on a new case and a probation warrant. In the new case, you were arrested on allegations of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. It's a Class 4 felony, and possession of dangerous drugs, also a Class 4 felony. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you in this case and in your probation case. You are on probation for a Class 3 felony, and there was already a warrant out for your arrest. It alleges that you violated terms 2 and 12 that appear to be the new case you were booked in for. The term 2 allegation is possession of a firearm on or about August 20th. Term 12, the violation alleged is possession of an illegal drug, methamphetamine, on August 20th. And that's literally what your new case is. So I believe that this warrant already alleges the term 1 case. So, but you can talk to your lawyer about that. You will get a copy of everything and discovery through your lawyer. Your next court date is the same for both cases. It is September 4th at 8:30 in the morning, which is 1 week from today, with the preliminary hearing September 8th at 8:30. The court address will be on your paperwork. In each of these 2 cases, your bond is $5,000 secured for $10,000 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions and call your PO within 72 hours of release. I don't think you're on intensive probation. If you're on intensive probation, it's 24 hours. But if you're not, it's 72. All right, if you step to your left, you pick that with you. Thank you. Ms. Chavira? And then Dejanay Mitchell, will you please go to the chair? Good morning, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Good morning, Belém Chavira, 1987.
Okay, thanks. You're in 3 matters. One is a grand jury warrant. One is a warrant stemming from a direct complaint. One is a probation warrant. I'll just take those in order. In number 23 on the calendar, you have been indicted by a grand jury on charges of fraudulent schemes, a Class 2 felony, and trafficking in stolen property in the second degree, a Class 3 felony. The offense dates listed in the warrant range from August 26th of 2024 to October 5th of 2024. It looks like this indictment was handed down back in February. In number 24 on the calendar, you've been charged in a criminal complaint with possessing narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, possessing drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and fraudulent use of a credit card as a Class 1 misdemeanor. The alleged offense date for this case is September 23rd of 2023. Finally, you're here on a probation warrant. You're on felony probation, and back on November 30th of 2023, there was a petition to revoke your probation filed. It alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5. You'll get a copy of that petition from your lawyer. Your next court date is the same for all 3 cases. It is September 4th, 8:30 in the morning. That's in the Downtown Superior Court, 1 week from today. Your preliminary hearing in the direct complaint case, that's the drug case. That one you need a preliminary hearing, and that's going to be September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. In the grand jury case, probable cause was found by the grand jury after they heard evidence. So you do not get a preliminary hearing, and the hearing that you're going to on the 4th will be an arraignment hearing, because it's a procedural difference. You can ask your lawyer questions about it if you are interested, but that's why you're getting arraigned in the grand jury case, but in the case that was charged by a criminal complaint, you are entitled to a preliminary hearing. So everything's on your paperwork, all of those court dates. Well, there's only 2. Take that with you. Your bond in each of the 2 newly charged cases is $5,000 secured. In the probation case, in the new case and the probation case, it's $5,000 secured. The grand jury case, the fraud schemes. In the drug case, it's $2,500 secured. So that is $12,500 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions, and call your PO within 72 hours. I did give very sincere thought to holding you without bail in your probation case. I did. But on these types of charges, I'm not prepared to say that I'm fairly positive you'll be revoked to prison. If you go into the wind, if you bond out and you go into the wind,
I won't be going in the
virtual guarantee we will hold you without bail in that probation case the next time we find you.
I definitely will not do that.
Everything's on your paperwork. No contact with any alleged victims in the fraudulent schemes case.
Okay.
So if you'll step to your left, you can just take that paperwork with you.
You said what was the total bond?
$12,500. Ms. Mitchell, did you name Mitchell? Then Christina Ratio, will you go to the chair? Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Janine Mitchell, 092906.
All right, thank you. You're on a probation warrant. You are on probation for 3 felonies in 1 case. It is armed robbery, aggravated assault, and with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, and aggravated assault by a simulated deadly weapon. The petition that was filed on August 4th of this year alleges that you violated terms 3, 4, 5, 7, and 15 of your intensive probation.
What does that mean?
It means they're accusing you of violating your probation in a bunch of ways. You'll get a copy of the petition from your lawyer. You'll get some discovery, and you and your lawyer can go over that. You are entitled to have a contested hearing, basically a bench trial in front of the probation judge. If you want to contest that you violated probation, right now they are accusing you of violating probation. So you get a lawyer, because if you are found to have violated probation, you could be sent to prison on 1 or more of those charges, those convictions, So your lawyer can explain all of this to you at your next hearing. That's going to be September 4th at 8:30 in the morning, which is 1 week from today. What's your question?
Miss, they said I violated, but I was at the house when they picked me up.
Yes. There's not a connection between where you are versus what you're accused of having failed to do in probation.
Failed to do, but they're not saying what I failed to do, Miss.
They did. It was in the petition. Hang on a second. I will say some of these things to you. I am not here to determine whether you did it. That's the bench trial in front of the probation judge. So I'm not inviting you to argue about whether you did this.
I'm not.
These are essentially your charges, but it's not new charges, it is accusations in probation court. So they accuse you of failing to report on April 24th and May 22nd. They've attempted to locate you by calling family members, and doing a field visit to the house. You failed to actively participate and cooperate in substance abuse counseling or assistance at Taros, and you did not provide unrestricted access to your residence. You did not receive prior approval before changing residence, and you did not reside in a residence approved by the Adult Probation Department, whereabouts unknown since July 15th. You failed to submit to drug testing on May 8th and May 16th, and you did not remain at your place of residence when directed to do so, and did not submit a written intensive probation schedule. That's what they're accusing you of. Again, I am not here to determine whether you did those things. So, bond is set in your case at $5,000. It is secured. If you bond out, you must comply with all of your written conditions. Do not miss your court dates, and when you get out, call your PO within 24 hours. I may have put 72 just reflexively, but I did put 72. You're on intensive probation. So, same phone number, and where my order says 72, your terms of probation require 24. So, if you bond out within 24 hours of hitting the street, you must call your PO, because you're on probation even when you're in a revocation proceeding.
So this is what they have to pay, $5,000?
Right, and you can use a bail bondsman. You can to potentially bond out for less. You can call the bail bondsman from back in the tank. All right, if you take that paperwork with you, you can step out to your left. All right, Ms. Riccio, Christina Riccio, and then Rodney Davis, will you go to the chair? Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Christina Riccio, 1981.
All right, thanks. You're here on a bench warrant for failing to appear at a status conference in a case in which you've been charged with unlawful use of a means of transportation. It's a Class 5 felony. This warrant was issued February 13th of 2024. You already have a lawyer in the case. Your next court date is going to be a status conference on September 4th at 8:30 in the morning. That is this Thursday in the downtown Superior Court. Your bond is $2,500. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions. I need to reissue this one. I'm sorry, I forgot to check the victim contact button. This is a victim case, so don't go to the scene of the alleged crime. No contact with any alleged victim or co-defendant. We're just going to get that reprinted so it has the no victim contact orders on it, and then we'll send it out to you, okay? If you got the seat. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Davis, Rodney Davis, and then Matthew Sanchez. Will you go to the chair now? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Rodney Davis, 8895.
Thank you. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for aggravated driving under the influence of drugs with a suspended license, which is a Class 4 felony, and with one or more children under the age of 15 in the car. That's a Class 6 felony. They booked you on 4 allegations of the one with children in the car. Apparently, and a lot of cops do this, thinking that it is 1 charge per child. That's not how the law works. It's 1 charge per type of DUI alleged. The number of children is not actually relevant to the number of charges. So you can talk to your lawyer about that. So in this case, they have made probable cause for driving while impaired to the slightest degree by drugs or alcohol, and driving while under the influence of drugs. So the court finds probable cause for purposes of this hearing only on 2 of the allegations of driving under the influence with a passenger under the age of 15 in the car. Those, again, are Class 6 felonies, not for the other 2 allegations, because, as I said, it does appear the police were thinking it was 1 allegation per child. So I'll let you talk to your lawyer about that. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a status conference, Thursday, September 4th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, and a preliminary hearing will be September 8th at 8:30 in the same court. Now, in this case, your bond is $2,500. It is secured. You are ordered not to drive any motor vehicle at any time. Current MVD records show you lack the legal authority to drive. Also, the court believes that you are likely endangering your children and the community if you are driving while apparently addicted to a dangerous substance. No contact with the witness. That's the person who reported it. No contact with the officers who arrested you. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. And again, repeating, I can't make it clear enough, Do not drive any motor vehicle at any time for any reason without a further court order in this case. You already face a 4-month mandatory minimum in the Department of Corrections for the Class 4 felony. Don't make that worse by picking up a new charge while the case is pending. Everything's on your paperwork. If you step out to your left, you can just take that with you.
Wait, so you said I'm going to go to prison?
No, well, if you're convicted of a Class 4, you're not convicted, you're accused. But if you are convicted of Class 4 ag DUI, which is aggravated DUI while your license is suspended, there is a mandatory minimum. You can't even get probation until you've done 120 days in the Department of Corrections. It is a special kind of punishment that the legislature has set out for aggravated DUI. You cannot get probation until you're done doing 120 days in an orange jumpsuit at the state penitentiary. No judge can give you less if you are convicted of a Class 4. You are not convicted, you are accused.
So
talk to your lawyer.
Is there any way to get a lower bond?
Yeah, talk to your lawyer about a motion to modify. This court believes what you are accused of is very dangerous and could very easily have resulted in the deaths of all of your children.
The thing is, ma'am, I was coming back from school and, my mom and my sister brought my sister's kids to pick me up from school.
That's not what the allegations are very different than
yeah,
that.
but the thing was they brought
Mr. Davis.
None of what you're telling me. They live with me, and I'm not going to be able to have a place if I get out on September 4th. That's the only thing. I'm just trying to, because my sister and my mom lost their apartment, so they all came to stay with me. And I just, I've been doing okay since being off probation, but
I know you got off probation in February, and right now there is a strong weight of evidence suggesting you were smoking fentanyl while driving with four little children in the car.
There was
and the court is very concerned that you are a danger to the community and a high danger of new crimes because it appears you are still addicted to drugs. I saw that you earned a misdemeanor and got off probation in February. This arrest and these allegations don't strongly indicate that probation helped you.
Is there papers for bail bondsmen?
Yeah, they've got numbers in the back. You can call back there. They do collect calls from the jail.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too. Mr. Sanchez? And then Andrew Mendeville, will you go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
My full name is Matthew Ray Sanchez, Your Honor. My date of birth is 11/19/1975.
All right, thanks. You're here on 2 probation warrants. You're on probation in 2 different felony cases. Petitions to revoke your probation were filed on August 4th of 2021. Those petitions allege that you violated terms 6 and 7. You'll get copies of those from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date is a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing in the downtown probation court 1 week from today, which is September 4th at 8:30 in the morning. The address is on your paperwork, and your bond in each of the 2 cases is $2,000 secured. That is $4,000 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions, contact the probation department within 72 hours of any release. The number is on your paperwork. He's got that for you.
Okay, Your Honor, I have a question. Will I be released today?
If you post a total of $4,000 to guarantee you will not do this again.
Right. Right now I can't afford the bond. I've been, when I was on the streets, I was on meth, and I was a real bad drug user. I did jump from probation, you know what I mean, not going and stuff. If there's any possible way.
There's not, sir. It's been 4 years, 4 full years, 4 years. And you walked away almost immediately from felony probation in 2 cases. So this court declines that you could be revoked to prison in these cases. You don't get to run around and potentially do this again unless you put up the bail. So talk to your lawyer about this next week. If you take your paperwork there, you step out to your left. Mr. Mendeville, then Gabriel McDermott, we go to the chair. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Andrew David Vanderbilt, 8/11/89.
All right, thanks. You're here on a probation warrant. You're on probation for a Class 4 felony. There was a petition to revoke your probation filed November 20th of 2024. It alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation, and that was filed in your 3 cases. I'm sorry, you have 3 probation cases. That same petition was filed, same date in all 3 cases. You also are here on a new case. In the new case, the allegation is burglary in the 2nd degree as a Class 3 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. You're going to have the same next court date for all 4 of your cases. It is September 4th at 8:30 in the morning in the Downtown Superior Court. It's a status conference in the new case and a revocation arraignment in the probation cases. Then you'll have a preliminary hearing in the new case only September 8th at 8:30 in the morning. Everything you need to know for that will be on your paperwork. In the Class 4 felony probation case, your bond is $1,000 secured. In each of the other 2 cases, it is $500 secured. Finally, in the new case, it is $50 secured to make you eligible for credit for time in custody. I believe that is $2,050 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions, and call the probation department within 72 hours. If you take your paperwork, you can step out to your left. Mr. McDermott? And then Melissa Long, will you go to the chair, please? Good morning, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Gabriel David McDermott, March 31st, 2001.
All right, thank you. You're here on a probation warrant in your Class 6 felony probation case. There was an 11th petition to revoke filed in your case on July 29th of this year. It alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5. You'll get a copy of that from your lawyer, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date will be September 4th at 8:30 in the morning. That is 1 week from today in the Downtown Probation Court. That will be a revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing. The address is on your paperwork. Your bond is again, in this case, $1,000. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions, and call your PO within 72 hours. If you step to your left, the officer will have your paperwork.
There you go. Take papers.
Ms. Long? And then Joseph Elliott, will you go to the chair, please? Good morning, ma'am. May I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Melissa Long, 12/10/86.
All right, thanks. You're here on 2 probation matters and a new arrest. In the new arrest, you are accused of burglary in the 2nd degree, a Class 3 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date will be a status conference Thursday, September 4th at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing September 8th at 8:30. You're also here on 2 probation warrants. You are in warrant status in 2 felony probation cases. Petitions to revoke your probation were filed June 13th of this year, alleging that you violated terms 3, 4, and 5. You'll get copies of those petitions from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. In each of your probation cases, your bond is $1,000 secured. In your new case, it is $50 secured to make you eligible for credit for time in custody. That is $2,050 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your conditions, and call your PO within 72 hours of release. You step to your left, the officer has your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Elliott, and then Frank Rodriguez. Will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Joseph Lewis Elliott, 6/10/87.
Thank you. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. You're on felony probation in 2 separate cases, and warrants were issued for your arrest on August 6th of this year after petitions to revoke were filed accusing you of violating terms 3 and 5. You will get copies of those petitions from your lawyer, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing this coming Thursday, September 4th at 8:30 in the morning in the Downtown Probation Court. That'll be a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing. Your bond in each case is $500 secured for $1,000 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions, and call your PO within 72 hours. You've got your paperwork for you. Thank you, officer.
Thank you, Tim.
Mr. Rodriguez, and then Ryan Wilson, will you go to the chair, please? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Rodriguez, 21466.
66?
Yeah.
All right, thanks. You're here on an arrest warrant for a newly filed case. It actually dates back to earlier this year, but this is the first time you've seen a judge on it. You've been charged in a criminal complaint with possessing narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. And the alleged offense date is back on January 22nd of this year. This comes from the Glendale Police Department. You'll get a copy of those charges and police reports from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date in this case will be a status conference, Thursday, September 4th at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing September 8th at 8:30. And you're also here on a probation warrant. You're on probation for a Class 4 felony. Back on July 4th of this year, there was a petition to revoke your probation filed. It alleges that you violated Term 3, which is failing to report within 72 hours after you got out of jail last time. So you have to go to probation court for that. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Same next court date, it's this Thursday, September 4th at 8:30. It'll be a revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing. Your bond in each case is $500 secured for $1,000 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions, and call your PO within 72 hours. The number is on your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Wilson, Brian Wilson, and then Stanley Kaplan, will you please go to the chair? Podium right there, sir. Podium, thank you. May I please have your full name and your date of birth?
Brian Keith Wilson, 12/27/04.
All right, thank you. You're here on one new case and a probation hold. In your new case, you were arrested for second-degree burglary, which is a Class 3 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. You are on probation for a Class 6 felony, and the probation department has notified the court they will be filing a petition to revoke in your case based on this new arrest and likely several other things based on what I've read in the notes for your case. So you'll get a formal petition through your lawyer at your next court date in probation court. You have the same next court date for both cases. It's this Thursday, September 4th at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing September 8th at 8:30. In the probation case, your bond is $500 secured. In the new case, it's $50 secured to make you eligible for credit for time in custody, because if you hadn't been on probation, we probably would have released you in the new case, but you need some bond in place to ensure you get credit for time in custody. So your total bond is $550. If you bond out, comply with all of your conditions, call your PO within 72 hours. If you step to your left, take that with you. Thank you. Mr. Kaplan, and then Adela Velasquez. Will you please come to the chair? Hello, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Stanley Capone, 10/24/1991.
Thank you, Mr. Capone. You are here on 3 bench warrants for failing to appear at 2 different hearings. In number 27 on the calendar, that's the 2025 case. The failure to appear was on August 21st of this year. It was a status conference, and so we're going to reschedule that for September 4th at 8:30 in the morning, which is this Thursday, with a preliminary hearing September 8th at 8:30. Those will be in the downtown Superior Court. In each of your probation cases, it was a revocation arraignment hearing on August 22nd that you missed. We're going to reschedule that as well for September 4th, 8:30 in the morning. All of that will be on your paperwork. This court is aware of the motions to quash that were filed in your cases. None of those warrants was quashed. Based on the totality of the circumstances in your case, this court believes bond is necessary. So $250 secured per case. That is $750 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your conditions and call your PO within 72 hours. If you take your paperwork with you, you can step out to your left. Velasquez, and then Wynn Henderson. We go to the chair, please. 30, sure. Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
Guadalupe Velasquez, 5/26/1998.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a probation warrant in your Class 6 felony probation case. On February 5th of this year, there was a petition to revoke your probation filed, and a warrant was issued for your arrest. The petition alleges that you violated Term 3, 4, and 5. You'll get a copy of it from your lawyer, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing this Thursday, September 4th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown probation court. That address is on your paperwork. Your bond is $250. It is secured. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions and call your PO within 72 hours. The number is going to be on your paperwork. We're just getting that printed up. We're going to send it out to you. If you please go have a seat.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Henderson, and then Alexandria Webster, will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Win Maverick Henderson, 12/11/1988.
All right, thank you. You're on a new case. You were arrested on the following allegations. 2 allegations. There's trafficking in stolen property in the first degree. Those are class 2 felonies. 2 allegations, well, a total of 4 allegations of forgery, but it's alleged 2 different ways. One is possession, 2 counts for possessing a forged instrument, 2 counts of offering a forged instrument. Those are all class 4s. 2 counts of organized retail theft of merchandise. That's a class, each of those is a class 4 felony. 2 allegations of criminal simulation that are class 6 felonies. There is probable cause for all of those. They also booked you on an allegation of possessing dangerous drugs and drug paraphernalia, but they did not provide much information at all to support the allegation that what you had was methamphetamine. So for purposes of this hearing only, the court does not find probable cause on the drug and drug paraphernalia allegations. It does not mean they're dismissed, though. You can talk to your lawyer about how that works. It just means I'm disregarding them when I'm setting release conditions. I'm not setting release conditions. Everything's going to be on your paper. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your court date will be a status conference September 11th, which is 2 weeks from today, 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing September 15th at 8:30. That'll be in the downtown Superior Court. Now, the state recommended a $15,000 bond for you. I know why, and it is because the Maricopa County Attorney's Office is very aggressively prosecuting organized retail theft. I certainly encourage you to Google it so that you take this seriously. They are putting people in prison every day for this. I looked at your history, though. You are not without history. But you have one prior. You got your federal prior that was back in 2019. I'm not seeing a revocation in the federal case on your supervised release. I'm going to assume you completed it. Texas 2019, falsification of a drug test. Looks like it didn't turn into anything. And the 2019 looks like cocaine distribution was the underlying case. So that's about it. So, and the police alleged that the total amount stolen, et cetera, in this case was about $200. So I'm going to release you to pretrial services. This is what I would call, conviction-wise, this is the beginning of your career, if you are foolish enough to do this type of offense. If you even did this, you are presumed innocent. But it is a property crime. They appear to have a very strong weight of evidence against you, including high-definition video, though. So talk to your lawyer about all of this, because, and I am literally telling you this to scare you into complying with release conditions. They accuse you of 2 separate incidents. That may subject you to what they call multiple offense sentencing, which means if you go to trial and lose, which you're a long way from, if you go to trial and lose on both of these, the first one is probation eligible, the second offense is prison mandatory. And so I want you to be scared. For $200, you actually face real exposure to prison time already for $200. So if you don't have the sense to fly right while the case is pending, if you pick up a new charge, God forbid it's the same kind of case, please Google Maricopa County Attorney's Office organized retail theft. To say that they're aggressively prosecuting it is an understatement.
Yes, ma'am.
They are putting people in prison. And people say, oh, they really put me in prison over $200? Yes, they will. And so, like I said, you're presumed innocent. I'm releasing you. I understand why the state is asking for a $15,000 bail. On your criminal history record, plus what you're accused of doing, I'm going to let you prove whether you will or won't come to court, because frankly, attempts at counterfeiting don't generally reflect intelligent people. But if this warning isn't enough to get you to fly right, get you to show up, get you to talk to your lawyer, I can't help you. It's about the only warning you're going to get.
Yes,
especially if you come in on a new one, you'll get held without bail because you're out on release in a felony and you pick up a new felony. Really hard to fight your case when you're held without bail.
Right.
So, Mr. Henderson, I also prohibit you from going to any Home Depot store while the case is pending. I strongly suspect they trespass you nationwide. I don't really care. People who do this type of offense repetitively, they like to victimize the same retailers because they get used to their procedures. They're comfortable at that retailer. And I believe it is very much in the community's best interest to just prohibit you from going to any of their stores.
Yes, ma'am.
So everything's on your paperwork. Take it seriously. Don't miss your court dates. Call into pretrial. The instructions are in the envelope. You do it after you get out.
Okay.
So if you step to your left, you'll be all done.
Thank you.
And you know what? Your prior was 2019? Okay.
Yes.
I have to talk to your lawyer. It may not, I was going to say that prior might kick you out of probation eligibility on the first offense as well, but frankly, that's a pretty factor of a question. So talk to your lawyer about that.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. All right. Ms. Webster? Hi, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Alexandria Webster, 5/1899.
Okay, thank you. You are here on a new case. You got booked in for possessing narcotic drugs. It's a class 4 felony. I am appointing a lawyer for you, and I'm giving you 2 court dates. The first one's a status conference, September 11th, which is in 2 weeks, 8:30 in the morning. Preliminary hearing, September 15th at 8:30. I'm also ordering that you be released in this case because I did not find probable cause for the drug type. The police did not provide enough information to support their allegation that what you had was fentanyl. And so they have to meet a legal standard. I don't personally doubt that it was, but they have to meet a legal standard, and they didn't. So you're entitled to be released, but the case is not dismissed. And frankly, with your lack of criminal history, or relatively, I probably would have released you anyway. But no release conditions at all, just come to court. I gave you a lawyer and a court date because the county attorney can still go forward on this charge. So show up. I gave you a phone number maybe 3 or 4 days before the court hearing. You might want to call that number and just confirm that you still have a court date, because sometimes they wait for lab results before they go forward, and you wouldn't want to waste a trip to court. So that's why there's a phone number on your paperwork. Did you get dressed out because they didn't like your clothes, or are you stuck in on a different case?
No, I got dressed up because they didn't like the clothes.
Okay, fine. Okay, then as long as you don't have any other holds, you should be out in a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then just don't lose that paperwork. Either call the number a few days in. Sorry? You do have city court at 4? Okay. Yeah, so apparently you're here on the City of Phoenix case too, so don't lose my paperwork. You got to keep track of that, because whatever happens in the city, whether they let you out or not, on September 11th at 8:30, if you're not there and the county attorney did decide to go forward, there will be a warrant issued for your arrest. All right, so just don't lose that paperwork, okay? But you're released in this case. I can't help you with the city. That's a different court.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
All right, good luck. Okay, so officer, I've got 2 house calls listed today, one for Eric Roybal, one for Isaiah Brown. Has each of them been isolated by the sheriff's office from general population as a potential risk to themselves or others?
That is correct.
All right, I do have an affirmative answer from the sheriff's office, so I will conduct those initial appearances in-house, in person with each of them. And I will advise Eric Roybal, board 72490, that he got arrested for narcotic drug possession, a class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. I did not find probable cause for these, which I will attempt to explain to him, but I'm going to let him know they are not dismissed and he must go to court. I am appointing a lawyer for him. His court dates will be September 11 at 8:30 for a status conference, September 15 at 8:30 for a preliminary hearing in the downtown Superior Court, and I have also clicked the box telling him to call his PO within 72 hours, because that will cause the number to print on his paperwork, and he is on felony probation. All right, Mr. Isaiah Brown, born 11/11 of 98, is here on a new case, and he got arrested for third-degree burglary and identity theft as class 4 felonies. 2 allegations of theft by control of the stolen credit card. Those are class 5 felonies. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for him. His next court date will be a status conference, September 4th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing September 8th at 8:30 in the same court. And I've considered what's been alleged against him, his criminal history, and what the state has alleged regarding his apparent ties or lack of ties to the state of Arizona. And so the court believes that the state's requested bail amount of $50,000 cash is not supported by the totality of the allegations at this moment in time. But the court does believe that a significant cash bail is warranted. So it's the court's intent to set bail in the amount of $15,000 cash only in this case, with orders not to go to the scene of the alleged crimes, no contact with the alleged victim, witness, arresting officers, or with his co-defendant, who the state alleges has already fled the state for Oregon. No weapons, no drugs, not a valid prescription. If anything changes after I see Mr. Roybal or Mr. Brown in-house to conduct these initial appearances, I will update my final written order. My written order will reflect the court's ultimate decision in the case. The court will not be updating this reporting. And with that, we are going to stand in recess until 2 p.m. this afternoon.